Hey everyone, I have a book review, Mudving by Tarryn Fisher, and everyone talks about this book, and I was like, I'm not sure if I want to read it because I don't really like this kind of genre, and I was like, and then I go into it, and I'm just like, oh my god, this book is amazing. Tarryn Fisher writes this like fucked up stuff, and it's just so good, and then the writing is beautiful. I just loved this book so much. So it's about this girl Sienna, and uh no, not Sienna, her name is Senna. And she is kidnapped and brought to this house in the middle of nowhere, and it's guarded by this electrical fence, and then she's freaking out because she doesn't know how she got here, and I would be freaking out too. It gave me like this really anxiety just reading it, but I just kept reading it. It's just oh my god, what is gonna happen, is anyone gonna die, and then she looks around the house, and then she finds this room, and this guy is tied up, and it turns out to be someone from her past, Isaac. And we learn more about him as the book goes along, but they're the only ones in this house, and they have food, but it's a limited supply, um limited heat, and they're just they're just depressed because they're pulled away from their homes, their lives. Isaac is married and he has a baby on the way, and he just and I thought they had dated before in this book, but apparently they did not. And that's what I thought, and I was just what is going on? And so and this book, it's a game, and it was what if love was put to the test? What if you tested love? And this is what this person did to them. They tested this relationship, which wasn't even a relationship, like, and Senna has to go into her past and find out why, and then hopefully get out of this mess that she is put into. And all this stuff happens, and I'm just what the hell is going on? And then there's this carousel room which involves Isaac and Senna, and I'm just this is just so crazy, and it's just spinning my mind. I'm just trying to figure out who would put them in this space, and I thought it was Senna's uh ex-boyfriend Nick first, but I was no, that doesn't make sense. But then I was maybe it is still him, but then I was no, it still doesn't make sense, because how would he know about Isaac? And how, and I'm just thinking, how did they get there? How did people not notice this? And I'm just what the heck is going on? And I'm just I want answers. And they're running out of food. They can't get out of the house because there's this pass code. And then when they finally figure out the date, and it's they can't still get out because it's an electrical fence. And I thought it was I kind of thought it might have been an obsessed fan. And I was when we finally found out who it was, I was just oh my god, I didn't see that coming. But then I kind of should, when I reread this, I probably will see hints at it. And but yeah, so then we go back to Senna's past, and when she first met Isaac. So it was on Christmas, and she was raped. So she runs out of the woods and runs into Isaac, and he is a doctor, and so he brings her to the hospital, and then he takes her home, and he becomes kind of like this protector for Senna, and it's just like really just he's like the sweetest. Like I love him, and he says these things that are just so beautiful, and he has like these really interesting tattoos, and I like want to talk about his tattoos. Like they're just so interesting, and I want to read a quote from this book because it's just so beautiful, and I just like think it's so beautiful, and it's yeah. So like they go into like their past, and like her past in like learning that Senna doesn't really like to have friends. She doesn't like to keep people like attached in her life because she's like, well, I'd rather leave someone else before they leave me. And like I kind of like understand that in the pit of like the back of my head, like because I'm just like people like lie all the time, like they get into your lives and then they just leave without telling you why, like and there's like so many quotes in here that I was just like, yes, like I totally get that, like and like they just like make you think, like this book just makes you think, and it was just so beautiful and I love it. And then we get like snippets, and then when she goes, then we find out that she has breast cancer, and she wants Isaac to do the surgery, and he's like, I'll only let you do I'll only do the surgery if you go to see a counselor. And she's like, okay, fine. Like, and then he like introduces her to like this music with words because she doesn't listen to music with words. And there's like music from Florence and the Machine, which I love. Like, I've listened to them for like a long time. And like the one song Landscape is just so beautiful. Like, and that is like a song that was like played like in their little like prison cell like one time, and like it was just like, oh my god, what the hell is happening. And then when they're in when she goes to see this therapist, she talks about her past relationship, Nick, who was a writer, and like they dated for like, I think she said like 2 years, and then he mostly got like bored of her and just like broke up with her because she didn't want to get married, and they were like soulmates. Like and like Isaac said something like, I forget, he said like, I have the quote on my phone, and he said something about like how soulmates are different from your true love. And it says, what's the difference, I asked him, between the love of your life and your soulmate? One is a choice and one is not. And I totally see that, like, and then he like reads the book to her. Isaac reads the book to her when she's in the hospital, and it's about this girl named Brenna, and we find out that's actually her name. Um, and I did not know that. And so, and it's about like they're like, it's like this mostly this love letter to Senna from like Nick, and like then she ends up writing a book like about him, and then like it's all this stuff, and then Isaac is like, is this about you? And then like she doesn't read the rest, and then Nick said, we get like snippets from his book, and it's like he said to Senna that that she has a mud vein, and like it's a thing that like a shrimp has, and it's like the dark thing, and like I didn't know what that meant, but like but I kind of get it, like. And then we get like the whole thing about the carousel. So when Isaac takes Senna to the carousel, this carousel, and they have like the horses, and then they're the same horses that are in this like prison, and I'm just like, what the? And then they end up having sex, and in this like carousel, and like he tells her he loves her, and then he explains his tattoo, and it's like about soulmates, and I'm gonna read this quote because it's so freaking beautiful that like I like. Okay, so like let me. So like he was like explaining like about soulmates, and I'm trying to find this quote because like I thought I highlighted, but I might have not. So like he has like this rope like tattooed like around his neck, and like that looks kind of like a noose. And he says I was this. He said most people mark themselves with scattered ideas, a heart, a word, a skull, a pirate woman with huge breasts, little parts that represent something. Isaac had one tattoo, and it was a continuous rope wound around his waist, chest, and loop around his neck like a noose. It wrapped twice on each bicep before coming to an end, right above the words I'd seen poking out from underneath his sleeves. It was painful to look at, uncomfortable. I understand. I knew what it was like to be bound. I'm this now. He used two words to point the words on his forearm. Die to save. My arms go to his other arm. Save to die. What does that mean? Isaac looked at me closely, like he didn't know if he should tell me. A part of me has to die in order to save myself. My eyes moved to his left arm. Save to die. He lives to die. He saved him. He saved lives to die himself. And then this talks about like his the string, like about like soulmates and stuff. There's a string that connects us that is not visible to the eye. He said maybe every person has more than one soul they're connected to, and over the world there are these invisible strings. As if to make his point, his fingers traced a black ribbon that ran through the horse's mane. Maybe the chances that you'll find each and every one of your soulmates is slim, but sometimes you're lucky enough to stumble across the one and you feel its hug. It's not much as a choice to love them through their flaws and through your differences, but rather you love them without even trying. You love their flaws. And I thought that was just so beautiful because like I completely understand that. And then it goes back to the present where they are now, and they're running low on food, and like Isaac gets sick, and like he like is I think he had like hypothermia, and so she's like, and then there's this table, and like there's this well like under it, and then like she ends up breaking her leg, and she like needs like all this, there's like more stuff, and like and she ends up saving him, but she hurts her leg, and it's never gonna be set in the right position, and like I just like was like, who would do this? And then like the power goes out, and then on Christmas it comes back, and there's this gift that was sent, and then like on the box it said M2 like MV, and I was like, oh my god, I thought it was Nick. And then like she talks about her rapist, and like when her like Isaac, like she would have like these nightmares about her and rapist, and like the only thing that she never told the police that he just kept repeating pink zippo, pink zippo, pink zippo. And I'm just like, oh my god, that's so creepy, and just like it wasn't creepy enough, like, but that is just, like, creepier. And, like, I'm just like, what is gonna happen? Who is someone gonna die? Is someone gonna die? And then as they're, like, running low and stuff, and then they find all this other stuff, and, like, Isaac gets really, really sick, and then the zookeeper comes, and we find out it was her therapist. And I'm just like, what? What? Like, and she's crazy. She is, like, legit crazy. And I'm just like, what is happening? What is happening? And she's like, you can send him back, but you have to stay. And so she says goodbye to him, and they had, like, these moments of love in this prison where they had sex on the table, they kissed, and I was just like, they loved each other, but Senna couldn't do, like, she couldn't, like, and then she had to let him go because she didn't want him to die. And then she gets over the fence, which isn't electrical anymore for some reason. And then she sees a helicopter and she thinks Isaac's okay. He, like, sent someone. And then she goes to the hospital and she's like, the police are like, well, what happened? And she's like, I want to talk to the dragon, and because that's what she calls the therapist. And she talks to her and she's like, oh, love's a game, and like, and like all this stuff. And then she finds out, like, that she went to, like, this mental institution, and like she, like, blocked it out of her memory for some reason, and like all this stuff happens, and I'm just like, oh my god, what the heck is happening? And then she wants then Nick goes to, like, pick her up at the airport, and like she just realizes that she doesn't love him anymore, and she's like, oh, you have writer's block, that's why you want to be with me now. And and I'm just like, yeah, this guy just, I feel like he uses her, and I'm just like, no. And then we find out that her cancer is back again, and then she goes to see Isaac, and he's like, I love you. And like, and then when she says her goodbyes to Isaac because she wants to leave and do stuff, and so she gets another mixtape, like old times, on her car, and she sends a letter to Isaac, and it was just so beautiful. I gave this book 5 out of 5 stars. I just loved it. I want to reread it again. It was so good. So I hope you guys enjoyed. I'll see you guys next time. Happy reading. Bye, guys.